those that are newer to this circle, I'm Kim. I'm the youngest tag-along child of the youngest tag-along brother, Ernie Karlstrom. And I think we're kind of kindred cousins. We experienced a lot of the same awe of the family at the family reunions and other gatherings, where really this greater Karlstrom family felt, to me anyway, mythic. And I think it continues to have that mythic quality about it. And my dad, he couldn't be here. He's at the point where he doesn't travel well distances, but he wanted me to share a reading from him. So what I will say will actually echo a lot of what's been said already, but he wanted his words spoken. And I want to say too, I love the theme of family and science. My father too is a professor of biology, so he's, I'm sure, been thrilled that you would follow that direction and leave the rocks alone for a while. But he has been collecting a lot of memories from the family and a lot of the history of Otto and Alva in the Puget Sound region, and so he would just love to be here to hear these thoughts and the history of Thor. But anyway, I'll go ahead and read. To Thor with love from his kid brother. Oh, how Leroy and Ernie would love to be with all of you today to celebrate our older brother. We are with you in spirit and so thankful to Karen and Eric and all the rest of the family who helped to set up this event. Being the youngest of 6 kids, yes, the baby, as my parents called me, has been a real life adventure. And I was a true tag-along, my mother bearing me at age 42. Mom, however, would never admit to me in her last years that I was a surprise baby. My main remembrance of my sister Hilda, and she was the eldest and she did pass, is when at age 3 I was only allowed to wave at her through the window of the pergola, our cottage on the beach at Fauntleroy. Mother had brought her daughter home from the sanitarium to care for her until tuberculosis took the life of our beloved 19-year-old Hilda. The next 4 surviving brothers came in pairs, Ray and Paul 2 years apart, and with whom I spent less time as a lad. Thor and Leroy were only 15 months apart and always were joined at the hip. I think everyone had that perception. As Chucky and I put it, what a pest I must have been in the late 30s, trying to be a part of their gang at teenage parties on our beach. Thor and Leroy took most of their schooling together through high school, the years at Augustana College, and then both getting their doctoral degrees, but at different times, at the University of Chicago. As an undergrad at Augustana, I had the pleasure of visiting each of them on the Chicago campus. Both brothers influenced my seeking higher education as I saw them setting up their careers at college. They would come home after a year at Augustana full of enthusiasm over courses in college life. I remember one lively discussion, the group including our Papa Otto, Thor and Leroy, and Ernie at about age 12, listening intently from the side. As I recall, Thor had taken his physical geology and historical geology courses from one of the great educators in the field, Dr. I may pronounce this wrong, Fritjof
Fritjof Fritzell.
What? I meant to clear this up with you beforehand. Fritjof Fritzell. With the historical course, Thor brought evolution to the forefront. Our dad listened, but had to temper these scientific ideas with a theological twist of his own. The whole point here is that father and sons were engaged. I mean, I think really this is the source of so much of the wonderful collaboration between faith and science that's gone on through this family. It's kind of been a continuing thread. Think how important the education was to Otto Karlstrom, who came to the U.S. at age 21. We heard 19 before.
Yeah,
may be
probably,
debated.
he's right.
He may be right. Think of how important education was to Otto Karlstrom, who came to the U.S. at age 21 with some 4 years of Swedish schooling. Now look about you to know his and all of his children and grandchildren in terms of post-high school education. And how proud we are today of the exemplary professional contributions of Thor's Nels Vincent Karlstrom. But what would you expect from a Thor, god of thunder? Again, thanks for this opportunity to hail and honor my brother. Would that he and I could raise a Scotch together. Ernie,